couldn't spot it in the snow in the total darkness. Removing one of my gloves, I began feeling for it, but I still couldn't find it. So I took off the other glove and swept the snow with both hands, hoping one of my fingers would make contact with it. Nothing. Then I got down on my knees in the damp powder and frantically made angel wings in the snow with my hands. Nothing. At that very moment, a taxicab swept by, its tires sending a tidal wave of wet slush over my entire body. Now I was wet and sick, and I wanted to go home. Feeling completely defeated, I thought, what am I doing here? I can't make it in New York. I can't even stay alive here. I looked up to the heavens, snowflakes dotting my face, and cried out, God, should I go back to Houston? Give me a sign. And then my other lens popped out. Thanks, God. Thanks a lot, I said. But then a strange thing happened. A warm and wonderful feeling passed through me, and I knew what it was. Hypothermia. I was freezing to death. No, that wasn't it at all. It was defiance. I whipped off my empty frames, threw them in the snow, and shouted to the indifferent world around me, You can't beat me, New York! I'll conquer you yet! I was certain of my path, and I would never give up. My first apartment, a one-room studio on the ground floor, was on West 80th Street between Amsterdam and Broadway. It was right around the corner from Zabar's, which was the only good thing about it. The bathroom was so small that the door, when open, hit the toilet, making it only possible to enter like a crab, sliding in sideways. I was able, with my savings, to equip my new digs with a second-hand bed, a tiny couch, and, most important, a portable TV. The night after I bought it, I came home from a walk, opened the apartment door, and found the place completely bare. No bed, no couch, and most distressingly, no TV. Fortunately, the thieves found my clothes unacceptable. Those were the days of New York's mean streets, and they were decidedly unfriendly to me. I was mugged a couple of times, and I couldn't get arrested in the theater. The only acting job I had in that first year was as an imposter on the game show To Tell the Truth. I pretended to be a cab driver from Denver who played trumpet requests for his customers. No one on the panel of celebrities voted for me, hence I made no money. But I did meet Nipsey Russell, so it wasn't a total loss. And inspired by my cab driving charade, I got my hack license. The requirements to drive a cab in New York in those days were pretty simple. There was a quiz in which you had to know 8 very common locations, such as Radio City Music Hall, Times Square, etc. Any tourist could ace this test. Before being rewarded with your license, however, one had to be checked out by a doctor in Queens. I was instructed to drop my trousers and underwear, turn my head, and cough while he cradled my cojones for what seemed like an inordinate amount of time. That was the extent of the examination. Eventually, my luck began to turn. I landed a few small roles in off-Broadway productions. In time, the parts got bigger and better, and I graduated to the occasional Broadway show. Most impressively, I played Aramis in the 1984 revival of Rudolf Fremmel's operetta The Three Musketeers, which lasted a week and lost $12 million. Though financially I was barely getting by, I didn't care. I was a paid actor. Then the IRS summoned me to their offices. I hadn't paid my taxes. What are taxes? And I owed the government $4,000. Since I had nothing more than my last paycheck in the bank, about $700, I was certain a jail cell was in my future. And then Providence raised its beautiful head. A relative of mine had died.